Okay, this is going to be my first attempt to duplicate a project that I had already worked on. The previous project that I worked on was a white marble table, and I use these colors. I'd use the white for the base, a pewter, and a like a tan kind of color. And I'm also using probably more than I need to, but some diamond dust. And the epoxy that I'm using is countertop, stone coat countertop epoxy. And this is what I used the first time, and it was like one of my very first pieces that I did. So I'm trying to duplicate something that I did when I first got started. And I'm hoping to post into the video the picture of the very first piece. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is start off with the white base, and this is going to go over everything. Hopefully get some of this over the sides. Now the mixture of this is going to be, it's a 1-for-1, Stone Coat Countertops is a 1-for-1 mixture. And this is a 36-inch piece. And the math that is done is for every square foot, it's 3 to 4 ounces of epoxy per square foot. And I'm trying to talk at the same time of trying to do this. It's not always the easiest. Just trying to get the epoxy everywhere except on me. And then I'll come back around by hand and try to get it to go over the edges. It's kind of cold here in the garage. I'm trying to keep it warm. Trying to make sure the epoxy keeps going to where I can work it and not have to worry about it setting up too soon. Let's see. Try to do this with my left hand. Get some of this epoxy over the edge. Move better with the heat. Some little boogers in here. All right, paper towel. I can see some of it running off over here. All right, the next thing I'm going to try to add is the diamond dust part. Wow, there's a lot of diamond dust in here. Next, I'm going to add the tan and the pewter, and then I'm going to try to play with it with my hand. Try to leave a little bit of this behind. I may need it in the end. Okay. Now it's time to play. Now I went a little overboard with the ounces. I did more than 4 ounces per, because this has very squared off edges on here, on this coffee table. Because the edges are so square, it's going to be hard for it to roll off the sides. I'm going to go with both hands, so neither hand now is going to be neither hand is going to be clean. This definitely has a lot more color into it than the other piece did. So I'm missing a whole lot of white compared to what I did the first time. What I'm missing is the white. So I'm gonna try to mix up a little bit more, try to add some more white to this. So I'm off camera right now. I'm trying to mix this in. this mixed in. And the other piece I did, I didn't have as much of the color as on top of the white. And don't want to overdo the colors if the customer doesn't want all that in there. So let's add some more white in here. Sort of lighten this, a little bit of a streak there. Try to come back through and mix in some more white. See if I can do this with this piece. I do have some drizzle on here. I need to make sure I take care of that drizzle so it doesn't look like drizzle. So what do? I add more drizzle. Okay. Okay, I didn't like that. Definitely a lot more of a whirlwind kind of look to this thing than it was before. It was sort of plain before. With just some lines in it. This looks like the side of Jupiter. Okay, let's see what happens if I try to add a little heat to this thing and blow it around. sure if that really changed anything. Okay. So add a few colors around the side. One thing about having flat edges is that the epoxy really doesn't run over the side a whole lot. Because it doesn't run over the side a whole lot, you don't get the epoxy protection over the side. And without the epoxy protection, it doesn't look like much of anything. It just looks like paint, which is what's underneath the epoxy. I have some spots where it is running over and other spots where it's not. I guess this table is not as level as what it should be. So I can get some of this white out of here. Now I can get some of this to go over the side. Gotta do some more wipes through here. Trying to get it to match another piece is probably the hardest part of this. Knowing that the previous piece didn't have as much color to it as this piece is. So hopefully this does not look too colorful for the client. If it does, I guess I'll be doing it all over again. Try to add a little bit of color on these sides. And epoxy will run off of here and it'll actually give it a different look on the side than what it looks like right now. back of it. Because now that tan has green in it. All right. All right, time to get a little bit of movement in this thing. Let's add some fire. I could call this my Jupiter piece by the way it's looking right now. This does look more like Jupiter than it does anything else. Okay, I've got some strings pieces over here. I don't like the way they look. Most of this will take care of itself. Let's see. Let's add a little more color over here. Add some more epoxy so it runs off. Yeah, you want to at least round your edges. This was impossible to round the edges on because of the material it was made out of. There was no way of actually rounding off the edges. And because of that, I'm not going to get a whole lot of grip, even though I am getting some. Some of it looks real pretty. But I gotta make sure it drips off evenly. Okay. I'm gonna let that do its thing. Let the piece decide what's going to be what by its own movement. It will continue to move. The epoxy is not going to cure in a short period of time. This, I think what they say is it cures, it takes a couple of hours for this to cure. So we shall let the piece do its thing and we'll see what it looks like in the end.